Alrighty then, here we are to talk about an author's estate, an author's legacy, estate planning for authors. So, how do you do it? What do you do it? Oh, hang on. Come on. Yeah. Stanley was knocking on the door. Okay, he's here. All right. An author's legacy. How do you fill it out? And specifically, the sections I want to talk about today are your username and password section, which on the spreadsheet, the super secret spreadsheet, that there are links within the book, and they are case sensitive, but I've also made a all lowercase version. So if you don't do the cases, you're fine. You'll be able to get to the Google sheet. Please do not share that anywhere. It's for people who buy the book. So how do you fill it out? An author's legacy. The username and password, and I couldn't figure out how to get this damn thing to show my other screen. Oh, hang on. So slides and PDFs. Share screen. There we go. Okay. There, I've got that up there. All right. There we are. Okay, I've got the other screen up there that shows usernames and passwords, because you go down and look across the bottom here. Oh yeah, it does show my cursor if you have a big enough screen to see everything. An author's legacy, this is about planning and managing your estate now and being ready for the future. Because you know what? No surprise, nobody gets out of life alive. Everybody passes on. Are you ready? Some pass on earlier than others, and that is the danger, because we're all worried about our morbidity. Are we going to die? No. If we plan for it, well, then we're helping expedite it. No, you're not. You're helping your peace of mind and the peace of mind of your beneficiaries as you build your estate. As an author, you are continually building. Build, keep building. That's what you're doing. And an author's legacy will help you build your estate now so you can enjoy the fruits of your labors. But then you're set up so if you do pass away unexpectedly, every time you leave your house, you take a risk. Now, it may not be high, but you still take a risk. Are you ready? Are you ready to leave everything behind? I mean, instantly, you can't answer any questions as soon as you're gone. Are you ready? Can you do that? That's what we're looking at now. How to get set up. Now, username and passwords in the spreadsheet, it's not in an author's legacy. If you go through this, you don't necessarily find a section that says username and passwords, but you have a section called author accounts, and that will get you the same thing, because it gives you your computers, it gives you all of your stuff, author accounts like Apple Kobo logins, Amazon login, and any other service you provide, which I just got hit with a big bill from SurveyMonkey. I guess at one point I bought the professional version of SurveyMonkey, and I was very surprised when that popped up. And I tried to cancel on that same day, and they said, no problem, you're canceled. It's good for another. You have 365 days left of your subscription. Those kinds of things. Yes, I did not want a second year, but I had auto renew set on, which was automatic, by the way, which I think has since been made illegal. You can't automatically make renewable renew, so people can't get out of it. They have to cancel. So it was anyway. I have SurveyMonkey, the professional version, for the whole next year. But those kinds of things, managing my business now, and I found that because it popped up. So now I put it into my spreadsheet. So I've got that tracking. And one thing I did on my spreadsheet that's not on this one is I added a column and put author, business, personal, so I can sort and then find, oh, here's all my author accounts, like SurveyMonkey, like BookFunnel, like Canva, all of those kinds of very specific things. And personal, like my airlines, whether it's Alaska Air or Delta or United, have separate accounts for each. Well, I have those listed. So what do? Login link. And on the paper version, it kind of sucks. You're writing a login link. Come on now. So that's where you go over to the digital version. And this is usernames and passwords. And actually, let me add in a column right now while you're watching. Insert one column left. A author. Enter A author. B business. Alt enter. P personal. Alt enter. O other. So there you can go. You can sort these. Let me shrink that column down a little bit. You can sort this then off that column. And if you download this, this is the master. So if you download this anytime after today, you'll get that column in there. Or you could just add it yourself. It's very simple to do. As you just saw, you right click on that, insert one column left, and then you do your magic. Something tickling my nose there. And insert the column, and then add your thing so you can sort. You sort on that, and then that tells you, because this is we're calling business. It's not author specific, because AT&T, it's a utility. So maybe it's other, whatever makes sense to you. That where do you find the link? The link you find in the book, and it is scattered throughout the book. You can always go straight to the back, and I would show you that, but no, then everybody who's not a purchaser of the book would see it, and we don't want that, because I mean, I put a lot of effort into the spreadsheet as well as the book. So go in the book. You can go back to the references. It's on the reference page. All right. So you find the login link. So you copy paste. So that's why you see my book isn't filled in. It's blank. There. See, it's blank. It's not filled in because, hell, I'm not handwriting a login link, because especially when I can copy paste it. So you copy paste that login link, business, service provider name. This is where you can expound on what this is. What is the service for? Phone. Also, because it's AT&T, I have my DirecTV through that, so phone and DirecTV. Username. Put in your username, put in your password, copy paste again. I use Google passwords, so you got to dive in there, do the PIN, all that stuff, and then paste that in there. Two-factor authentication. This one, I have it set for cell phone, so AT&T, and no, this isn't mine. This is a mock-up. The cell phone, so that's where the two-factor authentication. What will they ask for? A PIN, but usually the cell phone, they'll send a code, a 6-digit code, and you type that in. What is a secondary password? Like if you have to call AT&T, which I do have a separate password for that. Any backup codes? Some sites have backup codes. Can I put it in here? Absolutely not. Do not put that link in here. Do not put, because this is a public YouTube. If you put the link in, then I'm boned. I might as well not have written the book, and that is theft. So please do not put that link in here. Don't put the link. Don't share the link. That's only for people who have purchased the book. All right. Was I emphatic enough on that? Do not put that link on the public site anywhere. So notes. Now, the notes, like in here, I could put that. This is for DirecTV as well. This is my phone. This is the phone I use for business, whatever it is. And even put your phone number in if you want, which I would like to think that your executor has your phone number. But just in case, it never hurts to have it secondary, because a lot of people, their phone number is just a direct link, like Wendy is mine for my wife. And what do I do about that? I actually don't know what her number is. I have to look it up every time I need to put it in. All right, so that's username and passwords. And this is, you see me scrolling down here, this is an extensive sheet. I have 107 entries, and you may very well have more than 107 separate username password combinations for sites. You may have hundreds. Simple enough. All you have to do is you take this column here. You see that little dot down on the right? Hit it and drag it. And then that will, from that dot, and it carries over everything from that bottom. See? Now it also put in the line, which we don't necessarily want. So let's undo that. And let's do the next line. We'll take that line and then grab the dot and scroll down, and you see there it put us in. Simple as that. It's actually New Mexicast. It's actually scattered throughout the book. I have it in a number of different locations. And which book are you referring to? Is that the Spiral Bound, or is that the Perfect Bound? There we have a couple different versions. You can find it in the reference of 192 in the Perfect Bound, and in the Spiral Bound it is, you find it in the references on page 192. How about that? On both of them. But it's also elsewhere in the book available. Take a look. I encourage you, use the spreadsheet. You can take this and make a copy, download it to Excel, download it to your own Google Sheet, and then you'll have it. But filling this out, let me, while I'm here, dive in here, view, freeze. We're going to freeze the top 3 rows up to row 4. Oop, that's not what we wanted. Control Z, undo that. There we go. View, freeze, up to row 3. So there, then now as long as you scroll down, you'll still see this stuff up here on top. All right. So there you go. The login link. There's that. You got your password here. So an executor can dive in and see exactly what you have. This is for your business. Is an author. And if you select these, you can do data, scroll down, create a filter. So now you can click on this filter and you can sort. You can sort these. And that gives you some power. And now I'll just leave this in here, set up to filter, to sort, and there you go. So what's your username? What's the service for? So your executor come in and say, oh, here's AT&T. I can get on there. I can cancel that phone. I can cancel these utilities because we're selling the house. We're doing it. And that's what your executor's stuck with doing. Can they get there from here? Or do they have to call the cell phone provider and say, hey, I have this phone number, but this person passed away. We're not using this phone anymore. And do you want to cancel the cell phone? Maybe not, because that's where you look here and see how many times does your two-factor authentication count on your cell phone. And if it counts on the cell phone and you cancel that phone, now you can't get into any of these other accounts where you have your cell phone as your TFA. So I can never cancel my number because I have so many websites that use my phone as the two-factor authentication, whether it's the Veterans Administration, whether it's the hospital, whether it's any other places, so many places that, and they pop out once every year, 2 years where it has to use it. So yeah, I would recommend executors don't cancel that cell phone until you are absolutely positive that you don't need it for this two-factor authentication. And you'll have to keep it right by your computer anytime you're doing something with a person's account. A lot of times you won't even see that if you're logging in from the main computer. But if you're using your own computer 2 states away, you're probably going to get checked. You're going to get that two-factor authentication because it doesn't recognize the ISP. It doesn't recognize the location of where you are. So you have to use that. Just be aware. So that cell phone, that's what this column shows, is that, hey, you're going to get dinged on your cell phone, going to get pinged that to get into some of the other sites. All right. Where are we going from here? All of these. Keep track of, and you will have a bunch. Now, the best thing to do is you have this open on your computer while you're doing other stuff. If you dive in, oh, I got to pay my my gas bill, dive in, put the login link here and stuff that, and then just have it done. And you only do it once, but a little at a time. Because if you're going to try to do 100 different logins with all of this information, it will take you hours and it will melt your brain. Do a little at a time, just keep it open in the background and add stuff in as you go. Now, IP. This is the big one. We take we take a month, a year, 2 years to write a book, and that's one line. But you just got this workbook and you're behind. You have 10 titles. Holy cow. You have 3 different series. And the reason I broke this down by series is because I have like 25 series and 200 books. So I have a lot. And that's how I organize them by series. But otherwise, trying to put 200 books in here, I just wouldn't get there from here. I wouldn't do it. And I probably need to. I do have a spreadsheet with all that information. So I'll link that in here to there with that spreadsheet with all of my information. Series. And you see, I've already added the filter here. So if you have your Dragon Riders series and then your Muff Divers series and then your Jelly Donut series, you can sort and you can add the books in there if you're putting the different books on this list. If you're doing it by series, okay. If you're doing it by book, well, then you can sort them different ways. What genre? You can sort them. And your literary executor, the one who is managing your author estate, after, they're going to love this, because then they can just really focus to make sure that they're promoting the books like you need to into the genres that you have. What are the books? What is the genre? What is the newest file on your computer? And this is going to take an effort. It's one of those things. You keep this open in the background. So when you get some more errata, somebody found some typos on a book that was 8 years old. Oh my God, I can't believe there's typos in there. You fix them, put the new link in here, because now you have a new file. And the link could be just to the folder, but you make sure you put a date on that file, or you can sort by the date. If you use File Manager under a Windows-based system, you can sort by the date. And then you can say, hey, here's the newest file. There it is, the complete story with that file. It's important because, remember, you're gone. You can answer no questions. So how much is somebody going to fumble around with your stuff to get where they need to go to republish the book? Because if you have a single account on Amazon, you are supposed to cancel that account, unpublish the books there, and you republish the books through a different account. Yes, Amazon will work with you to carry over the reviews and stuff like that, because now the author has passed away, it's deceased, and you're publishing under, author's estate. How do you publish the right books if you don't have that file that says this is the latest file? Are you going to publish old books that now have more typos in them or different issues? Can't do that. Don't do that to your executor. Don't do that to your estate, because that'll torpedo your books. And do you want to do that to people you're trying to take care of? So what's the regular link? Amazon ASIN, which is an Amazon identification number. Barnes & Noble, Apple, Kobo, Google Books, Universal Link, Audio Link. And this thing goes way over. It scrolls far out to the right because there's so much information. And in order to get a sort right, you got to put it all in one row. Because if you tried to do 2 rows or 3 rows per book, you would lose the ability to sort, and it would make a mess of your stuff. So let's not do that. So you put in all the links that you have. Audio link. What if you have multiple audio link? Well, that's why I have other audio link, YouTube audio link. A paperback ISBN. Well, you may have multiple paperback ISBNs. You just do your best. Paperback ISBN, because Amazon might want a different one. YouTube could want a different one, or Amazon could want a different one. Ingram might want a different one. Book Vault might want a different one. You can use their free ones. Just make sure you put them in there. You can always add and just copy all of this and make a second or a third row of the same book, but they'll have different ISBNs. So when you sort, it should keep those together, and then you'll see that, oh, hey, I have multiple paperback ISBNs. Why? That's a new thing. For some reason, Ingram wants a different one than Amazon has, even if you're using your own. I mean, if you use the free Amazon one, the free Ingram one, of course, they're not going to, that's oil and water. But even if it's the same size book, it used to be the same size book, and it was the same book, one ISBN, because that where anybody could get that one book. Not anymore. Now they want different ISBNs for the same book if it's through a different distributor, because you're still the publisher. I don't get it, but That's when you have a monopoly on ISBNs like Bowker does. That's what you do. You make people buy more of them. All right, cover. Cover by. This is important if you want to make changes. You can add multiple lines to one cell to keep data together and still easily read and copy your books with multiple ISBNs. Write a quick primer on how to do that if you could, or a link to where it shows people how to do that, because I can't explain that. I'm sure I could get it to work, but I don't have that ready at hand. So Karen, please copy a link in that explains that step by step to do that. So who does the cover? I have a separate typographer for my covers. So typography, cover. So if you need any changes, you can get that done here. Do you have a co-author? Do you have a contract? And if the answer is yes, make sure that contract is in a folder. And are you going to copy the contract in here, or are you just going to copy the link to the folder? And it's the link to the folder that you want in here. Payments due to co-author. The 15th of every month. Good. Audio by. Who narrated the audio? And who published the audio? You've got your audio links over here. So if you have a Podium link, then you'll know Podium did it. Who did the audio? I really intended that you put Podium in here, but you could put your narrator in here, especially if you pay per finished hour. Interior formatting, is that separate? Me, I've gone to Atticus because if I have any typo changes, I can make them instantly and upload that change, as opposed to having a professional formatter. I find 3 typos. I got to do a mother may I got to send them a note. Hey, please, can you edit this and send me the new file? I hate that. I like fixing it right now and not having it hanging over my head that this book has typos and it's not fixed yet. I do it myself under Atticus. If you have a Mac, an Apple computer, then you can use Vellum. Notes. This is that stuff that you can't say because you're gone. So what are the best ad campaigns? Are you advertising? Yeah, Facebook, Amazon, whatever it might be. Where's the metadata located? And that's if you have a folder and your file system, and that's something that you can put an example in here, book information. One thing you see on the paper copy is this big area down here that's for notes. This is where the folder is. Craig's cover files. Don't ask me why. That's how I put it when I originally set it up, because it was just cover files, but it actually has all my series. And one of them I have my pen name, but I have a series that I didn't write under my pen name, but it's under there. So I got to put that kind of stuff in here for each book, that this is where it's located on my computer. So anybody who, once I pass away, all I have to do is mirror my hard drive, take it over, and then they can use it elsewhere to massage, to find, to locate, to organize, whatever makes best sense for them, because they're the ones who are implementing. Keep in mind, everything you do here is to make it easier on that person who can't ask you any questions because you're not there to answer. So you may have to put a little more than you want. Notes, best ad campaign, just so it's easier for somebody who is going to manage your estate later to do. All right. But that's the IP tracking. This is probably, for an author, this is probably the most important. You could say, well, this one little thing, there's a lot of other elements, and that's where the book comes into play, because it explains a lot of the stuff. It explains why, it explains how, gives an example of a codicil for literary executor and stuff that you don't get just off the spreadsheet. So you kind of need both. The spreadsheet makes it really easy to copy and paste, and that is worth its weight in gold compared to the book, where you're going to handwrite a lot of stuff. Now, your work plan, your business efforts, you write that in the book. It works well. What about books you didn't publish? Well, you just need to know who did publish them. When are you supposed to get paid? Is it quarterly? Is it monthly? Is it yearly, annually? Then you can put that in here. So your literary executor knows not to hunt for this stuff in your system, because somebody else is publishing it. So you don't need to advertise these books. You just have to make sure that the publisher knows, hey, author passed away. Here's Here's where you can make the payment now because this account, we're going to close it out. Alt plus enter. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, let me show you how that's done here. Yep. IP. All right. You've got, which is how you saw me use the paperback ISBN. Okay, here you go. You've got an ISBN in this book, 978-1234567. Okay, an ISBN. Hit Alt and Enter, and then you can put the next one. And you can even add a note. Ingram, go up here, tab, dash, Amazon. And that's a way you can add multiple lines of data in the same column. Yeah, that's not what I understood, but it will work. There you go. That's how you do it. Oh, let me put that over in the middle so you can see it. There, Alt Enter. And you can add multiple lines of data within the one cell, the single cell. I thought it was making sure multiple rows stayed together, which is a challenge. But simple as that, to add that information in and have it all available right there. IP tracking for books published by others, just they know that they don't have to hunt this down or hunt this file down because the publisher has the latest file and they have the latest cover and they do the advertising and promoting, hopefully. It might be a synergy, but still it's there. So this is all pretty much the same data with the exception of when's royalty payments made to which account, who is the link to the contract, and who is the publisher contact info. So somebody who manages your estate after you're gone, hey, I can find that person. There's the email. Go send the email. Hey, Bob passed away. Sorry, what do we do about this or that? What do you need from us? They usually just change the payment account. The good thing is they don't need anything else from you, and that will take care of business. Any other notes you might have, like, hey, we run quarterly sales, we run annual sales, we get an annual book pub, whatever it might be that applies to the book that somebody else publishes. All right, there you go. IP tracking is a big thing. Username and passwords. This is muy importante. This is where your executor will make sure and access and be able to manage your accounts for everything you do. Because when that auto renewal comes up for SurveyMonkey, they will have already known, oh my God, he's paying $460 a year for the professional version of SurveyMonkey. We don't need that. I'm not running any surveys. You bet you're not. Not on my stuff. No need. Just put them out there. So you want to cancel that stuff. And that's, yes, being an executor is a huge pain. It is a challenge for anybody who does it. You can make it easier on them. It will never be easy, but you can make it easier. And that's what this is all about. That's what filling these spreadsheets in so you can have the information for somebody else. It works even if you go into the hospital. Say you get cancer and you're off in a hospital getting a treatment for a month, 2 months. Hey, everything's there. You tell your spouse, you tell your admin, hey, here's the stuff. Here's what you need. Take care of business. They have to have your complete trust because this is your whole financial world in their hands. So hopefully a spouse, hopefully a very, very trusted person can dive in and make sure that you don't miss any deadlines, that you don't miss promotions because you didn't change the prices, when that stuff's easy to do if you know where to look to find it, to do it. Like changing prices on Amazon. That takes me like a minute to manually change the price. How long would it take my wife? Days. Undoubtedly days to find out where to change those prices. So with this, and that's what this is all about, make it easy to do so you don't have those big gaps and hiccups in your business because you're out of action for a little bit or forever. You have to plan for all instances. All right, here you go. One last look at Stanley. 30 minutes. Cool. the Yeah, everything in one plate because I don't remember everything. Like I said, I just got jacked for $460 on SurveyMonkey Professional renewal that I wasn't expecting. Same thing with DocuSign. Got hit with a big renewal on that one too, and I don't know why it was set up the way it was, but that was $1,000 for Pete's sake. As this stuff pops up, it comes as a complete surprise. Now, BookFunnel does not. I know exactly what I'm paying each year. All good. Thumbs up renewal and make sure to get my credit card that it does renew because I use the hell out of BookFunnel. I do not use SurveyMonkey, the professional version, like I do. And Zoom, yeah, that too. Don't use it anywhere near as much as I thought I would. So, anyway, but those things, managing my business now, even though you see I'm fairly perky managing the business now, because why just throw money away? Not hundreds of dollars for no reason whatsoever. There was a reason when I started it, but do I need it now? No. So this helps keep me on track. And next year will be a banner year for not buying stuff I'm not using. I like that. That's a good plan. Reduce those overhead, reduce that overhead, reduce those expenses. All right. Thank you to the 6 of you who watch this live and anybody who watches it later. It's about managing your business now and making it so other people can manage your business later. Simple as that. Life is good. Live it to the fullest right now, but still, you got to plan for tomorrow. Peace, fellow humans.